Someone is watching you right now. Not in a creepy way, but they're watching, and they don't like what they see. Your smile bothers them. Your confidence annoys them. The way you walk into a room makes their stomach turn. And the wildest part, you've never done a single thing to hurt them. No fights, no stolen boyfriend, no backstabbing, nothing. You're just living. And somehow, that's enough to make them wish you'd disappear. Sounds crazy, right? But it happens every single day. And there's a reason why. Actually, there are 5 reasons. And when you hear them, something will click in your brain. You'll stop wondering what's wrong with you. Because nothing is wrong with you. Let me break this down. Number 1, you make your own choices. And that freaks people out. Here's what most people do. They ask everyone's opinion before doing anything. Should I take this job? Should I cut my hair? Should I move to a new city? They need permission to live their own life. But you don't do that. You think about what you want, you make a decision, and you move forward. You don't spend 3 hours explaining why you did something. You don't need 10 people to agree with you first. And guess what happens? People lose their minds. Because when you make choices without needing everyone's approval, it makes them look at themselves. It makes them realize they've been living like a puppet, always asking, is this okay? Do you think I should? And that realization stings. So instead of saying, wow, I should try that, they get mad at you. They say you're being reckless. They say you don't care what people think. They say you're selfish. But here's the truth. You're not selfish. You just stopped handing other people the remote control to your life. And people who gave away their remote control hate watching someone else hold theirs. Think about it. When you walk into a room and you're just being yourself, not trying to impress anyone, not looking around for approval, something shifts. People notice. And some people don't like it, because your comfort in your own skin makes them uncomfortable in theirs. Your freedom reminds them of their prison, and instead of breaking out, they'd rather pull you back in. This is why people talk behind your back when you quit a job everyone said you should keep. This is why they gossip when you end a relationship everyone thought was perfect. This is why they judge when you move to a new city without asking anyone if it's a good idea. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your life. Not your parents, not your friends, not your coworkers, nobody. Your life is yours. And the moment you truly own that, some people will hate you for it. And that's okay. Because living for yourself is better than dying for everyone else's approval. Number 2, you started winning. And they're still losing. A year ago, you and your friend were both broke, both confused, both complaining about life together. You were on the same level. But then, something shifted. You started waking up earlier. You started learning new things. You started taking care of yourself. Your body changed. Your mind changed. Your whole energy changed. And now? You're glowing, you're confident, you're moving different. But your friend? Still in the same spot. Same complaints, same excuses, same life. Now, every time they see you, they feel something ugly rising in their chest. It's not love, it's not pride, it's bitterness. Why? Because you're proof that they're lying to themselves. For months, maybe years, they've been saying, I can't change, it's too hard, life is unfair, I don't have time. But then you changed, you found the time, you did the hard thing, and now their excuses look like what they really are. Excuses. And that makes them hate you. So they start acting funny, they stop calling, they make little comments. Oh, you think you're all that now? Money changed you. You're not the same person anymore. And they're right, you're not the same. That was the entire goal. But to them, your growth feels like abandonment, like you broke some silent agreement to stay stuck together forever. Growth is lonely, not because you lose people, but because you outgrow them. You outgrow the conversations, you outgrow the habits, you outgrow the energy. And when you outgrow someone, they can feel it. Even if you don't say anything, even if you're still kind, they can feel that you're different, that you're on a different path now. And instead of being happy for you, they feel left behind. And people don't like feeling left behind. So they do one of 2 things. They either try to slow you down or they distance themselves completely. They'll invite you to waste time when you're trying to build. They'll mock your goals when you share them. They'll bring up your past mistakes when you're trying to move forward. Or they'll just disappear. Stop texting. Stop calling. Act like you don't exist. You didn't betray them by growing. You didn't abandon them by changing. You just reminded them that they settled. And that's a painful mirror to look into. You can't take everyone with you. Some people are meant to stay in certain chapters, and trying to drag them into your next chapter will only slow you down. Your growth is more important than their comfort. Number 3, you stopped faking it. And now, everyone else looks fake. Most people are performers. They perform happiness at work. They perform confidence at parties. They perform agreement in conversations. They laugh at jokes that aren't funny. They nod at ideas they don't believe. They pretend to care about things that bore them to death. Why? Because they're terrified of being left out. Then you show up, and you stop playing the game. You stop laughing when something isn't funny. You stop agreeing just to keep peace. You stop pretending you're interested in boring conversations. You just be honest. And that honesty, it makes everyone uncomfortable, because now they have to perform even harder. They have to fake laugh louder. They have to fake smile bigger. And that's tiring. So instead of respecting your honesty, they start labeling you. You're so negative. You're too serious. You're no fun anymore. But what they're really saying is, you make me feel bad about lying to myself every day. Real people make fake people nervous. You're at a party. Everyone's laughing at a story that's not even funny. They're forcing it. But they're all playing along because that's what you're supposed to do. Then someone looks at you. Why aren't you laughing? Most people fake laugh. Because it's easier. Because it's safer. But you just say, I didn't think it was that funny. And the whole room freezes. Not because you were rude, but because you broke the performance. You reminded everyone that they're pretending. This is why honest people make others uncomfortable. This is why people who don't play social games get called weird. Because most people aren't being themselves. They're being what they think they should be. And when you show up as yourself, it highlights their mask. When you stop faking, you find your real people. The ones who don't need you to perform. The ones who appreciate your honesty. The ones who feel relieved that someone finally said what everyone was thinking. Those are your people. And they're worth losing 100 fake friends for. Number 4. You don't beg for attention, and that drives them insane. A lot of people only like you when they feel important to you. When you're calling them first. When you're liking all their posts. When you're always available. When you're chasing their approval. That makes them feel powerful. Like they matter. Like they have control. But then you stop. You stop texting first. You stop checking their social media every hour. You stop dropping everything to hang out. You stop needing their validation. And suddenly, they panic. Because now they can't predict you. They can't control you. And people hate what they can't control. So they test you. They post things to see if you'll react. They ignore you to see if you'll chase. They create drama to see if you'll come running. But you don't. You just keep living your life. Calm, unbothered, focused. And that makes them furious. They'll say things like, you don't care about anyone but yourself. You never reach out anymore. You've changed. But the truth is, you didn't stop caring. You just stopped making them the center of your universe. And, to someone who enjoyed being your son, that feels like betrayal. You used to text your friend every single day. Good morning texts. Good night texts. You were always there. Then you get busy. You start focusing on your goals. You stop texting first. What happens? Your friend gets upset. Why don't you text me anymore? But here's the thing. They never texted you first either. They just got used to you doing it. You didn't neglect them. You just stopped carrying the entire friendship by yourself. This is why people get mad when you stop being available all the time. This is why they're offended when you don't respond immediately. This is why your independence feels like rejection. Because they like the version of you that revolved around them, and the version of you that has your own life, that version threatens them. You're not responsible for other people's feelings about your boundaries. You're allowed to be busy. You're allowed to have priorities. You're allowed to not be available every second of every day. Real relationships don't require you to prove your loyalty every 5 minutes. Real relationships understand that people have lives. So, stop chasing people who don't chase you back. Your energy is valuable. Spend it on people who treat it that way. Number 5. You're genuinely okay. And they're not. Some people are suffering. And they've accepted it. They wake up miserable. They go to bed miserable. And they've convinced themselves that's just how life is. Then you walk in, smiling, laughing, grateful, at peace, and it destroys them. Not because you did anything mean, but because your happiness is proof that misery is a choice. And they don't want to believe that, because if misery is a choice, that means they chose this, and that's too painful to accept. So instead of looking inward, they attack outward. They make sarcastic remarks about your positivity. They say you're fake. They find flaws in everything you celebrate. Because if they can make you sad, they won't feel so alone in their sadness. Your peace exposes their choice to stay in chaos. You found therapy. You worked on yourself. You healed your trauma. You set boundaries. You built a life you actually like. And they didn't. Not because they couldn't, but because they chose not to. And every time they see you, they're reminded of that choice, and it eats at them. So they try to dim your light. They mock your healing. They roll their eyes at your growth. They say you're being too much or extra. But what they really mean is, your happiness makes me feel bad about my sadness. And here's the truth. That's not your responsibility. You're not supposed to stay broken to make broken people comfortable. You're not supposed to hide your joy to make sad people feel better. Your happiness is not an attack on anyone. It's just proof that healing is possible. And if someone can't celebrate that, they're not your person. This is why happy people get called annoying. This is why peaceful people get accused of being fake. You can't shrink your light to make others feel comfortable in their darkness. That doesn't help them. It just dims you. So shine anyway. Laugh anyway. Be at peace anyway. If everyone likes you, you're probably not living right. Living your truth will always bother people who are running from theirs. When you set boundaries, someone will call you selfish. When you grow, someone will say you've changed. When you're honest, someone will call you rude. And none of that means you're wrong. It means you're real. The world doesn't punish bad people as much as it punishes free people. Because free people remind trapped people that the cage was never locked. Stop apologizing for being yourself. Stop explaining your choices to people who wouldn't understand, even if you drew them a map. Let people be confused by you. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them talk. The right people will never need an explanation. They'll look at you and just understand. You don't need everyone to like you. You just need to be okay with you. And when you're okay with you, it doesn't matter who isn't. The people who are meant to be in your life will stay. The people who aren't will leave. And both are a blessing. So stop holding on to people who let go of you. Stop fighting for relationships that don't fight for you. Just live, grow, heal, shine. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these 5 reasons hit you the hardest? Was it number 2 about growth? Number 5 about happiness? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you know someone who's been feeling guilty for being themselves, send this to them. Sometimes people just need to hear that they're not the problem. Thanks for being here. Keep being you.